Welcome to the Chi-Town Poppy Podcast.
Money Bear here,
G Money any
and we're gonna pause for station identification.
Oh snap! There you go. Welcome to
that.
this
Hey, you like that?
Poppy
Welcome
Podcast.
to the Chi-Town
Chi-Town
Poppy
Podcast.
Chi-Town.
All right, man. This is episode 4, right?
Yeah, and we're covering the first one, more of the mining and cryptocurrency that's going on around the world, and how we're all being affected. So
yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff, you know.
we're gonna basically
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
You know, there's a lot going on in the world.
So I started from, and
we're back in the basics
right here.
too.
Right here, we're back right
They
here.
kicked us. We were so hot in Wisconsin. They sent us back here. They said, "Get back down there.
Chi-Town time.
You trying to get too big?"
Man, slow down. They told me slow down.
I know. So, what do we got here? So, man, we're going to show everybody from our first show where we talked about building out a machine, how you can do basic parts to build yourself your own crypto mine. All right.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be a too technical show. I'd
Real basic.
try to keep it simple. We want everybody to understand and know that we're trying to build something that anybody could really buy.
If you have the courage or interest in it. My first video, like I told you, my interest was the 3090. You want to explain to what a 3090 is to graphics card people? Well, you guys might think this.
Well, let's define these items
Yeah.
first, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right.
Such a
So,
beauty.
You know, when it comes to what?
When you buy these things, they hold it like this. Anything else for you, sir?
It's like a baby, right?
Anything
Little baby, rockabye, baby, rockabye.
I thought that was eBay, but I guess it's ABG. But
ABAA.
ABA.
Oh man.
So
American Banking Association. There you go.
Ah!
Right? The American Banking Association. Careful with that bad boy. That's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
Yeah,
See
it is.
that?
So
So
let's get to the tech specs, right?
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people have been asking me as far as how crypto miners work and is it complicated and what's so special about it and all that, right? In reality, this is just your basic PC. All these parts you can find at your certain retailers, computer retailers across your area. Of course, we don't want to get hit with any tags here on YouTube, but
Just hit the like and subscribe though.
don't forget to do that. Please like and subscribe of everything you hear from us, and we hope you're going to enjoy it. So back to this. So a lot of people ask me, is it really hard to build this stuff out? And it's not. And so I want to show the pieces that you would need to build out your own PC or crypto miner.
Right.
And a lot of the time people are like, what, how complicated it is. I'm gonna show you it's so easy, even a caveman can do it. You remember that commercial from the certain insurance retailer?
Oh, gotta love those insurance ones.
I know, and we hope you like our new sign here. This has been a long time coming. We're really glad to have it. So don't forget, if you need to know who we are, Chi-Town Poppy Podcast. There you go. You can find it. So first things first. When it comes to building a PC,
you have a tower or some type of
tower,
or unless you want to go open.
Right. You got all open, and I'll explain that in a moment. So what you're really gonna need is these key pieces. So you're gonna need this a motherboard. This is a motherboard here. this is basically, it's going to hold your things like your CPU, memory, and the graphics card parts and hard drive. Okay, uh, these pieces are not that intricate. It, they've got regular plugs like your USB ports on your laptop, things you usually see on everyday
Pentium
items.
1.
Pentium 1, right?
We're going to go Pentium 1. In case you guys don't, I don't know how far or higher level stage we're going. We're going that. So.
We going stage 1.
Yeah.
All right. So this is really what you're gonna need from the beginning. You get one of these, really easy to find. Just make sure you have key pieces like PCI slots, and it's these items right here. And these are important because this is where the graphics card's gonna go, and it's also how the data from the graphics card out to the internet and all that is going to happen. Now,
if you don't understand that, your mother should have swallowed you at the motherboard. That's all. When she was when your mother's head was getting banged against the board, it should have got swallowed. You should have even existed. You matter of fact, just get off.
Let's not offend anybody.
No, but just get off right now because you're not gonna click and like and subscribe. That's all to it. You're like, what is this guy talking
doubt
about?
that.
Okay, we're gonna see. We're gonna see what the like and subscribes. I'm gonna leave a comment.
Yeah, we definitely want that.
We're gonna see comments. I bet I'll see a comment though.
I hope so.
Yeah. Maybe at least at this video we'll see a comment or two.
Yeah. So let me continue on. Motherboard, key piece, gonna hold the brains of the operation. And then right here we have your power supply. This is gonna give you everything for power for your electric. Okay. Always remember when it comes to these items, please never go cheap on this out of the items that you see here, because this is the most of a fire hazard.
That's
next
your power.
to
That's
the
your
graphics
electricity.
card. Yeah. So, if you have questions on what you won't need for a certain graphics card, leave it in the comments, and we'll try and get back to this as fast as we can. So for this build, we have a 1300 watt power supply. Most graphics cards, especially something like a 3990, eat about
you all right, bro?
3. Huh?
You alright, bro?
Ooh, what's wrong?
No, it sounds like you're. Sound like you're stuttering, no?
Sister, am I stuttering?
Like that.
Am I going like cable guy?
Yeah.
Like cable guy?
I think you need a Red Bull, dog.
And if I am, I apologize. I'm very tired. I've had a long day. So
you might need some wings.
More than wings. Red Bull gives you wings? Please don't sue us, Red Bull.
No.
All right. So power supply gives power to your computer and everything that you see here. Okay, never go cheap on this, because the problem is if you do, this is the biggest fire hazard to your home or wherever you're placing this. So
all your components need power, and this is where it brings them in from the outlet to the unit itself.
And please check amperages to your circuit breakers, and of course, when it comes to electricity, please always consult an electrician. Okay, make sure that what you're plugging in as far as power is concerned. I'm going to put that out because that safety is paramount to me.
No matter what amount you're trying to do or what you're trying to do with this, whether it's the gaming side or the mining, but I think we're talking more about mining.
Right.
But safety.
Yeah. Safety first.
Fire
like anything else.
Heat's nothing to play with.
No, it's not. And we'll get to heat in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you got that. And next item I would say is your CPU. Okay? This is the brains of the computer. As you can see here. So this will actually go into this piece here. Okay? That's where the CPU goes. There is a little diagonal spot here that will match with either like a little dot
Or dog
or
earring.
another arrow that says fit here, and you just match it up. You put it in and you drop in the CPU. Okay? And then when you do that, you'll close this back up and push down here and lock it in place. All right? And that'll be
And that comes off too.
right. The black piece is just a cover.
Once
Obviously,
you install.
we're not doing a full-on build here. We're just trying to show you the pieces that you'll need so you can build this out. And the fun part is when you're doing these items, it's great that you're learning on your own. And there's lots of resources on YouTube that can show you how more intricate to plug these things in.
And hit
and
and
you'll
like
be
and
able to see
subscribe
that.
those too, you know, because
Yeah,
if they talk
please like
to
and
something,
subscribe those people because they've put a lot of hard work on how to do this more intricately. We just want to show you the pieces so that way you don't seem too confused when you walk into a store and be like, I don't know what that is, and you have to rely on other people. And
or no
we
more or
wanna
less
show
what
you
you're
the
asking.
items you
Yeah,
want.
you know what you're asking, so you can be clear to the store
correct.
associate.
So that's definitely something we would want to put out as information. Okay, like I said, this is by no means a technical aspect here.
No.
Okay. So you got your CPU, drop it in. That's your brains. Usually that will come with a fan that will lock down. And it, my friend here will show you. This fan. I'm gonna get my hand out the way. Right here, will lock down, and there'll be easy ratchets that just click, click, 4 sides, locks it down, and there'll be this little wire that will connect, and it says CPU 1 here on the motherboard that you'll be able to plug in here. Okay, so lock down, plug it in, fan, pretty much done.
Pretty much plug and play is what we're gonna show you today.
Yeah.
And we'll come back with another video, letting you know how it's all put together, and maybe we'll go a little more into detail of the
Right.
operations.
Okay. Once you have that, you have 2 options when it comes to what we call the hard drive. The hard drive is your storage. This is the piece that will hold all your data, your operating system. It's important. When it comes to that, you have 2 options. You have an M.2, which is this small stick, looks like a stick of gum, that will fit into a piece like here in your motherboard. This will go in, slides in, push down, and there's usually a screw that will hold this down, and then that'll lock in place. That's one way. The other way is you'll have a actual hard drive like this, square brick. This is an SSD drive,
Solid
and
state,
so
right?
you'll want to plug that in and go here.
And he's plugging that into a SATA.
Right, there's a SATA port. Now a lot of these items, they'll have their own type of shape, like a Lego. If it matches, if it fits, it ships. Okay. Real simple. And there's tags on here, and that will tell you whether it is a SATA port or an M.2 port. Okay. So these are the most modern pieces of hard drives. Okay. There are other ones, but they're starting to become more obsolete, so you really won't run into them as much. The disk-based ones are still available, but I'd recommend with an SSD, easy install, or an M.2, even easier install and more power efficient. Okay.
What kind of power do you guys got? Or which is this one? Is it 512 or 120 or?
Hard drive size. I would recommend if you're gonna do a Windows build, and we'll get that into the next show. Um, you'd want something in the 512 range, and the reason is you can go with like 256 or smaller, but Windows likes to update a lot, and because of that, you'll have to need a little bit more space, and then you don't forget the mining applications themselves eat up space too. So you don't ever want to run into an issue where you don't have space for your application and the operating system updates. So definitely keep in mind when you go buy these items. I would always recommend at least 512. Now, if you're doing a Linux build, which is a different operating system, you can go with a 120 or 256. And the reason being is those operating systems that run it, as far as mining operating systems like Hive OS, they don't really take a lot of space. They take between about 20 to 50 gig at most. And that's for a hardcore setup. It's really nice, power efficient, but you got to do a little bit more technical work. So keep that in mind. Windows, easier, more space. Linux, harder, less space. That's the way I like to look at it. Right? Cool.
So basically Windows for y'all.
And we'll try and explain that in the next show, right? Next up is a good old meta memory. Something that I'm losing a lot these days. Memory usually fits in these like little Hot Wheels race strips here. I call them Hot Wheel race strips sometimes. And they'll have like these little clicks, like switches here. You'll push one down and you'll see a little hash. You see that hash? You'll match that hash up right where it's supposed to go. You gotta be a little careful over here. It's hard to do this on the sides. You'll push it down. It'll click. And
put it down.
I really would like to this click.
Put it down.
So, yeah.
It's always
easier
flat
when it's
surface.
flat.
Flat surface all the time.
Flat surface all the time, ladies and gentlemen. And then you'll push down.
Oh.
You hear the click. Boom.
You
Done.
know it's in.
That's all you got to do. One thing to keep in mind, with memory, always go 8 gig or more. Reason being is as crypto mining goes along in the future, things like what they call the DAG, which is the database of the actual algorithm, will rise. So usually with one card, you can get away with 4 gigs. But if you're doing a multi-card setup, you're going to need more memory. Memory. So make sure that you have that enough memory to be able to handle the amount of cards that you're going to put against this. Okay? Since this is a single card burial, 4 GB would have been fine, but we're going to go with 8 for future build out. And when it comes to these strips, they come in different colors. Always match up the color with the sticks. So if you put one stick in black, put it on the second stick, like if you're going to do 16 gigs, put it in the other black. It'll offset. It's just the way the computer reads the memory. Never put it one after the other.
Real simple too. If you colorblind, you can't count. Put one in one spot, skip a spot, the other one goes in the other spot. No matter what spot. Put one in one spot, skip a spot, put the other one in the other spot. Spock.
There you go. A fair warning for everyone here. It just makes your system run smoother. All right.
That
What
way
else?
you'd be like, oh, I got difficulties. No.
It's not-
Redo it again. And think about the motherboard.
All right, you got that, and
You ain't
you're
got
looking
power?
about the power supply. What are we gonna do with all this craziness? So there's usually cables that will come with this, and if you see here, they are all labeled. Okay, follow the labels, and they will attach to certain parts of the motherboard and your peripherals, hard drives, pieces like this will connect up to here with their special cables. And when we have to build out, I'll show those cables. But right now, for clarity's sake, I didn't put that in there. But we will show that down the line.
How the spinners work.
Don't do that to the fans.
I got warranty. I ain't worried about nothing.
You want to spend money on that warranty.
I paid for the warranty.
You don't pay for the warranty. So important aspects: motherboard connection, power to the motherboard. CPU connection, CPU power. All right, and I like to point that CPU power, motherboard power, and then you'll also have certain powers when it comes to your peripheral, which is your pieces, right? So those will connect.
It's either gonna go in a small spot or 16 or 6'4". You know, don't put nothing.
Too crazy.
Everything plugs in where it's supposed to. If you feel like it's bending or breaking, then you're doing something wrong.
I hope you don't bend and break.
We're not gonna bend and break.
But when it comes to this, it'll be a little bit bigger. So when it snaps in, and that's snapping. We'll have the cord that'll snap to this, which will give power to your hard drive. Okay?
Very little force. You don't need a. You ain't
You gotta-
done a mistake.
like,
No, not yet.
Remember, Lego piece, if it fits,
That's
it's
it.
shipped.
Yeah.
All right? All right, very good. And then you'll have cables like this. These are what actually control the computer itself. Most of the time, if you're doing a case build, something like this, there'll be a controller, like back here, that'll have these cables that will fit to certain parts of the motherboard. Please read the manual or instruction that comes with the case so you know what pieces enter to what part of the motherboard. Okay? Very important, so you know that you're giving your motherboard power to the right places and to the switches that turn it on. Okay? That is important, as well as
It's like a
the
puzzle
main
putting it together.
item. So everybody would ask, well, where's the mother piece? The money piece, right? Well, that's the GPU. Right?
This is what for mining.
This is your key
For
to mining. Okay. A lot of people, especially gamers, be like, "Oh, you're using for mining." You can do both. You can game on this, and then when you're not using your computer, you can mine on it. Why not? Pay the money back on this.
Yeah.
Might as well, right? I think so.
Somewhat passive or something like that, right? So.
Now, a lot of people will say, "Well, I don't want to build a case. I want to be able to do open air." When it comes to open air, you're gonna need something like a wood build or a wood rack. You can look up on here on YouTube DIY rack builds. Okay, you can build them out at Home Depot, wood, and hardware store, anywhere that sells wood.
Milk
Crates. I've seen milk crate builds. It's hilarious.
Zip ties.
Typical things. Be creative.
Yeah. That's the whole fun about it. If you got to go beyond this part, this is just to show you how easy. But once you take this all apart, and you just basically get a frame, right? Something to hold a square or rectangle shape, and you just plug and plane surface, and you mount it however you like with the distance of the cords for everything to be plugged in, right?
Mm-hmm. And
That's it.
that's what you're taking into account. So, again, definitely check out people that do these type of builds, wood builds, and see what you like. There's metal builds, wood builds, milk crate builds. I've seen a refrigerator and a cooler once, a
Wow.
thermo
Wow.
build.
Wow.
That's crazy, but that's smart for
Yeah,
cooling.
it is.
Really smart for cooling. You know, you could do a lot of designs. Pick what you feel is going to work for you. Don't ever feel like this is the only way to do it.
No.
That's the beauty of PC building. You can build it however you want. So, with that in mind, you want to be able to make sure that you have cooling. Okay? That's what these grills and sometimes, if I could get my guy here. Oh, he's not here. That's okay.
Oh.
Alright. Oh, there he is. He's hiding from me. Cooling is very important because when it comes to this bad boy especially, they get really hot. And when you're mining, it's working real hard. So you got to make sure a lot of air is flowing through the GPU. These things help. These are case fans. And there's also other fans that are bigger and push more air. It's all about airflow and how much is going into it. Especially when it comes to the summer. Because if you don't have enough airflow, you're going to be able to have problems with this overheating. And that's when problems begin. So,
Or you have to do other adjustments.
mm-hmm. You have to come up with other heating solutions.
Yeah.
Buying tall fans or standing fans, commercial fans, just to cool off the box. That's why when you do a open air, you don't have that much of a problem depending on the room you're in. I'd recommend basements, garages with ventilation, and being able to let these things breathe. Now, when it comes to the case build, you're more than likely, you can stand that up.
Yeah.
When it comes to the case build, this item is going to go more directly onto the motherboard. Okay? So
your motherboard's going to stay like this because you have these slots.
Right.
These slots. I don't know if you want to show them.
Yep.
Yeah, all this.
Mhm.
So basically, this will be inside here.
Mhm. And then.
So this will be in the background like this, and then he's going to show you how. Obviously, this will be inside here. It's just easier to hold.
That will slide into here, and they'll connect. Okay. Usually, that would be for a case build. It's important to note that with case builds, you have a lot of fans. Remember, you're enclosing this thing, so you want to set fans that'll push air in, and then other fans, like here on the side, that will push air out. That's what you want. Constant flow. Never let that pass, right? Or let it pass. That's important. Airflow.
There's also an air fan on the power supply.
That's why these have this. You don't want that to overheat either. So
and
that'll fit on the bottom.
And you don't have to do. You could do what 850. I'm not. For you guys that don't know about electricity, or ain't gonna have nobody checking it, or you do like, oh, these guys probably didn't do any of that. Get you a what 850 or less, or 1,000 or less. You would say.
I would say
if they're not gonna check the electricity, let's just be honest. Let's say they're not gonna check
one card.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's what we're showing. We're showing one card
without getting into the nitty gritty.
Right.
Always check what the maximum power is for all your items. Okay, that means your motherboard, your graphics card, and your hard drive, and anything else that plugs in, because this is going to have to maintain all of it, and this can never go over 80%. Never push it past 80% of its wattage. You do that, you're asking for trouble and fire.
So this pulls the most power. This
About-
is the latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
About 350.
Yeah.
So two of these, this power supply will be at 1,000. We take off the 1,300, 20% to be on the safe zone. It's probably like a quarter. And then, like you said, the CPU, and
Right.
depending on how you power up
The hard drive,
exactly.
right? And your memory, everything uses power. Keep in mind those numbers, add them up, and if the max wattage, you take 80% of 1,300, like for this one, and that leaves you at what, 1056, if I'm not incorrect. So that means if all these items go over that 1056, I can't do that build because it's unsafe. And so that's important to remember. Math is important.
And I think it'll freeze on you as well, right? Or it'll stay in
Right.
La La Land, or it won't work.
It
right?
won't turn on. It won't turn on.
You'll be spinning your wheels. You know, I watch these guys over and over. I don't know how they did it, but
wait.
that motherboard.
Not how we did it, but when you can follow other people that have more intricate build processes.
339
You'll find that your items won't turn on or they'll blow up, and you don't want that. So keep that in mind.
Unnecessary trips to the store.
Yeah, that's what warranty is important.
So what he was saying about the open build is basically what you got to create is locations to hang the GPU.
Right, and that
That's
comes
the
in
only
handy.
difference. You can remember once you got your shape, the next thing you're looking to do is how to set your board, your power supply, and your GPU. How you're gonna hang all those and create your setup out of an open instead of this is obviously enclosed. Right? That's what you were saying. You do an open or with a wood or.
Right. Well, if you do open, there are ways. A lot of people use like those like Home Depot wire shelves, and I have an actual good example. One sec. Let me get this. Is you have hangers. Okay? Now, this comes from a specific place. Might as well put it out here. It's called Misfit Mining. Please like, follow, and subscribe them. Very good channel, and they make these custom pieces for open air rigs. So what this does is it fits on top of your GPU, locks in. You put a screw here, and now you can hang it on a wire rack. And by doing that, you give more airflow around the GPU and be able to connect it anywhere you want. But you're gonna say, well, how's that work, right? Well, there's another piece we haven't spoke about, and that's this. This is your GPU riser. What this gives you ability to do an open air rig. So how I spoke about that, this will connect the GPU to the motherboard with an extension. Remember, this also eats power. Keep that in mind when you do your numbers with your power supply. Okay? Read all the labels and make sure what the voltage is, because you got to add that. Okay, because if this doesn't get enough power, this won't power that. So you need that to talk to the motherboard when you're doing an open air rig where the motherboard is not directly connected to the GPU. So that is important. So this is key, this, to doing open air wire rack rig, is where you can take this and hang it on a wire rack. Now,
that's why it's open or free flow.
Right.
Because it's not in a case.
Now this has the same slot as on your motherboard, but a little different. Now, I'm going to snap it in right here. You hear that? Okay. Now you see this here, right? This piece connects to the motherboard. And the motherboard will have long strips of PCIe and small ones. The small ones are 1x. The long ones can go from 8x, 4x to 16. You only care to plug this to the main piece. You can plug it any of these long pieces or the small one. I'd recommend the small, more stable. But if you don't have that, it's okay to plug the small piece into the long one. The only time I would think that is not a true Lego piece, right?
Yeah.
But it's still the same pins. So if you could bring that up,
Okay.
you're gonna see this piece has a notch. That notch is gonna go into the small piece here. I'm gonna put it in the small one, the 1x. As you can see, it's right there. Now I can put this free flow anywhere because it has that. See, hang it here, and the motherboard down here.
And this gotta get powered
to the power supply.
So that's when you see them open. The only difference is all this is gonna fit in here, but it's limited to
That's okay.
3 GPUs.
So that is a way to show you examples of how you have different sets of ways of setting up a rig. So by doing an open rig, you have more flow to the GPU, and you'll be more prepared for like summer problems, which is heat.
Depending where you live.
Yep. Ventilation is key. ACs don't answer the problem, because in AC you can say, well, I could just pull it in a room with the AC, we're good.
Yeah.
Sure. But
Power.
stagnated heat has got to go somewhere. And if you don't ventilate, it's going to get stuck, and it's just going to surround the GPU. It's going to cool off and just cause condensation. And that's bad. Because then
sweat.
it sweats.
And then guess what? Malfunction is gonna happen. It's gonna short out.
Exactly.
Walls burn out. Game over.
So I'm sorry if I sound like the cable guy today. You know?
Well, I guess that was everything, right?
Signal's good. Signal's good.
The signal's good, right?
But that's it. Once you snap these pieces together, then the technical part kicks in. That's your operating system. And in our next show, I'll talk about the Windows part and the Hive OS part, which is my preferred minor operating system because it's the easiest and has the most options for free use and paid use.
Mm.
And Windows has the same thing, but it's more user friendly, but you're gonna get more features out of the Linux build.
Windows 10. Is that right?
Hive OS is easy,
Okay.
and I'll show it to you. So, now that we've talked about all that, and hopefully we'll have this build in the next show. Uh, let's talk a little about crypto, right?
Yeah. Don't be afraid of what's going on. These are dips. In this world, we have nothing but dips. We got pull-ups and on our way ups.
Right. And right now, you know, let's take a look at the numbers.
Well, what's going to happen is going to go up probably by May of 2022.
There's a lot of talk of the digital dollar.
Yeah.
You know, that's
why that guy. Don't worry, we'll be okay. We have to settle down, and things are gonna be all right. We'll be tight, but we'll make it. America always does. Okay. Digital dollar. That's why we're making this video. To get you guys ahead of the game. Financial freedom. And to be honest, now y'all don't want to work anyways in a factory.
No, I don't think.
No.
But some people like it.
If you're institutionalized.
Well, we're in the age of creatorship.
Right.
Like we're here on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I think we're making about menial jobs, not jobs that people want to make something. Creatorship. There's people that are using their factories to build what they love. We're in a renaissance, if you ask me, when it comes to the digital age.
Mm-hmm.
And crypto is part of that. Right now, Bitcoin's at 39 and Ethereum 2,600 at the moment. And they dips, like you say. We have dips.
No,
but don't be afraid to be part of that dip. That's just gonna go back up, you know.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not a financial advisor, you know. Like I gotta say that now.
I got bills. I think I can say something.
But it's important to note that when it comes to crypto, always do your due diligence, right?
Yeah. So you would say this was like maybe injecting molding back in the days, or this maybe was 3D printed.
3D printed.
Right?
Right.
Back in the day, injection molding or
that was not part of that.
Stamps or whatever, and now we got
3D printer.
3D printer.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of work, all kinds of ways to make money. It's just up to you, and electronics is the way.
Yep.
Or the AI, if you want to say.
Learn this, and your options in the world will open up. It's real simple. Don't be afraid. And if you want us to answer some questions, if we can, throw it in the comments.
Ain't no wrong with being the fry guy. But the robots becoming the fry guy.
Fry guy.
So
might as well control the frying bots.
Yeah, because you're going to be the fry guy now.
Then you get back to being the fry guy.
Then you're going to be fried. Then you're going to be fried then. Beans don't burn on the grill, right? But you're going to be on the fry.
That's important.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to show that out. And also why we're showing other entrepreneurs, small businesses, people that are trying to start and be part of this renaissance, right? That's why we love to talk to everybody, from our previous shows to skateboard creators, dancer, boxer, people doing philanthropy and community service, to gamer shops.
Yeah, we want you to get a piece of the coin, because eventually you can watch movies and pay for movies, or Starbucks or something. I don't know, coffee, or I got a couple of coins. Starbucks. I think so. I don't know. Might be able to get a car or something. I don't know what else.
I hope so.
Well, they drive by themselves supposedly. I don't know if I'm gonna let go of the steering wheel yet, but nice to have that option, you know. I'm home.
But I think that's important.
Jetson? That was the Jetsons, right? He used to fall asleep after work and go, hey.
It's awesome what the future brings. Be part of the future. Be part of the revolution, and be part of a renaissance. I think it's important, and that's why we want to hear from you and hear from everyone around.
That's why click, like, and subscribe. And we've taken a break, but we realized that we tried doing land of no social media, and we couldn't do it. So we're making a video today.
But we will get that sorted out.
Yeah, we'll get back
I
on
promise.
track.
And we'll have, especially for me, I'm going to be putting up more TikToks. You can also find me on doing shows, selling shows on Whatnot as GMoney82. And you can find me at Chi-Town
Poppy Podcast or something.
Chi-Town, right? Chi-Town Poppy. Chi-Town Crypto Poppy on TikTok. You can find me there. I'm going to put out some more videos. And I hope you can join me in my journey in being part of all this. And I hope I've helped you in some way, or at least led you into the path to something else. And I hope you move forward with that. And that's important to me.
Yeah. So again, I'm always looking to push another business or someone's story, and
we want to hear from you.
Let's do this.
We love everyone, and we want to know what you're doing to move forward. And I hope you move forward with this.
Welcome to Chi-Town Poppy
Podcast.
And this is all we got today.
Thank you guys for joining us. Click like
and subscribe.
Follow. We're here. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, part 2, we'll have this all together there, and we'll share that with you. And if you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day. Take care.